Okay, so today we are getting into a theory that it has completely dominated the conversation online.
Mhm.
This high-stakes belief that a final secret episode of Stranger Things is about to drop, like a full hidden finale.
And it sounds, on the surface, it sounds like peak fan wishful thinking. But here's where we start the deep dive.
Right.
Our sources show this conviction isn't random noise. It's a really well put together theory. Fans are convinced. So
Yeah.
our job here is to break down the three concrete reasons they think this isn't just possible, but probable.
Exactly. This is more like investigative work than just, random guessing. Okay, so let's unpack this. The first pillar of their argument, precedent.
Yes.
The core claim is that Netflix has, well, they've done this before. There's a pattern.
And that historical context is everything.
Oh.
I mean, you have to look at the platform's behavior.
Right, like with the Cloverfield paradox.
Exactly. That was a complete surprise drop right after the Super Bowl. No warning. They've also played around with split seasons, surprise mid-season releases for other big shows.
So fans are just pattern matching.
They're pattern matching. They aren't just guessing. They're watching for repeat behaviors that move this whole theory from a wish list to, a plausible marketing stunt.
Okay, so that precedent sort of opens the door for the idea. It gives them permission to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't explain the urgency, the why now feeling. And that's where the second key factor comes in, right? The timing.
The timing is critical. This is the real investigative focus for them.
So what's the deal with the date? Why are they so focused on a specific day?
Well, it's not just any day. They argue the timing lines up perfectly with key dates from inside the show's world.
And universe dates.
Yes. Think a character's birthday, or maybe something more significant, like the anniversary of a huge catastrophic event in Hawkins.
Ah, so it suggests a deliberate window.
A very deliberate window that the Duffer Brothers and Netflix might be targeting to, really amplify the impact of a surprise. For the fans, this date isn't arbitrary at all. It's narrative synchronicity.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Because we have the history, we have the perfect calendar date. But the piece of evidence that seems to be the most convincing, the real aha moment that ties it all together,
Smoking gun.
is this third piece of the puzzle. This one specific detail that they say everyone missed.
And this is the critical piece of information. It's what transforms all the speculation into what they see as proof.
So what are we talking about here? Is it like an Easter egg in the background of a shot or a typo in the credits?
It's actually a bit more technical than that. The sources are pointing to things like asset updates, specifically background files or metadata in the Netflix system.
The back-end stuff.
The back-end stuff, the stuff that briefly referenced in episode 10 or something similar. But what fans are really seizing on is this idea of a ghost file.
A ghost file.
Yeah, like a content ID on the server that was active for just a little while. It had a weird, cryptic placeholder title suggesting an unlisted 9th slot in the season.
And that kind of digital breadcrumb would be incredibly hard to fake.
Almost impossible.
Yeah.
Which is why, for them, it serves as the concrete smoking gun that says a secret release is coming.
So when you put all that together, you can really see the anatomy of this viral theory. The conviction you're seeing online, it isn't just built on hope. It's built on, one, the documented precedent of Netflix's surprise tactics.
Right.
Two, a very significant alignment with the show's own narrative timing.
And three, this specific digital ghost file detail that feels like real, concrete proof.
Yeah.
And I think the big takeaway here is how fandoms operate now. They aren't just passive consumers anymore. They are leveraging their collective brainpower to analyze media like
Just
investigative.
reverse engineering the marketing plan.
Totally. Based on patterns and tiny digital nuances. It just shows the incredible power of dedicated fan research. And it raises a really interesting question for you to think about.
What's that?
When a fandom starts acting like a highly funded forensics team, how much is actually possible to keep a secret anymore?
So, if you're tuning in right now, you are probably feeling one of two ways. You're either deeply skeptical or you're wildly enthusiastic.
Or maybe you're just caught in that tension, the kind that only a huge internet mystery can really generate.
Exactly. Because today is Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, and this is the day. The day the entire internet seems to be holding its breath.
We are talking about, one of the most detailed and, frankly, compelling fan theories in recent pop culture history. It's all about the final season of Stranger Things.
Right. We've gone through this fascinating stack of sources you provided, and we're doing a deep dive into this whole phenomenon. People are calling it Conformity Gate.
And our mission today is pretty critical.
Oh.
We're going to weigh all the fan evidence against, well, the hard realities of how modern TV production actually works.
So you can decide for yourself, should you genuinely be canceling your plans for 8:30 tonight?
The core of the theory is just spectacular. It claims that the entire season 5 finale, the big emotional send-off we all watched,
Yeah.
it was a lie. That Vecna actually won, he's controlling the narrative, and a real, secret 9th episode, the true dark finale, is going to drop tonight.
So that's the big question we're tackling. Are you a believer? And, maybe more importantly, does any of this actually make sense when you stop and look at the logistics of it all? We're going to walk you through all the clues, which are undeniably cool, and then we're going to hit it with a heavy dose of reality.
Okay, so to really get the weight of this, we have to start with the foundation, the anatomy of belief. Why are so many people absolutely convinced this is real?
Well, it's because the fans didn't just guess. It feels like they reverse engineered the whole season. The name itself, Conformity Gate, it suggests this massive deception.
The argument is that Vecna gained, total psychic control over Hawkins, over all the characters.
And then fed the audience this fake, happy, comforting ending just to ensure compliance. That victory party we saw, it was all just an illusion.
And this is where the analytical depth of the fans really shines. They aren't just citing vague feelings. They're pointing to hyper-specific visual Easter eggs.
Okay, let's unpack the big ones because this is where it gets really fun. First up, this observation about the students at the graduation ceremony.
Right.
People went back, they rewatched, and they noticed the hand positions. A lot of the students are holding their hands in this very particular kind of unnatural way.
And that's significant because the gesture they identified is the exact hand position that Henry Creel, that Vecna uses when he's focusing his psychic powers.
When he's reaching into someone's mind to control them.
Precisely. So if you see that same gesture replicated across all these supposedly safe, free characters, it turns a random visual detail into what feels like narrative proof. Proof that control has been established.
Which would mean the happy ending is just the illusion of Vecna's psychic victory. And the clues get even more meta than that. Theorists started digging into the props, specifically the Dungeons & Dragons books.
Oh yeah, the D&D books. They identified specific alignments, looking at the placement and the titles of the books on characters' bookshelves across different seasons.
And they claim that the spines, when you read them in sequence, visually spell out the phrase X-A-L-I-E.
Suggesting that Dimension X, the abyss where all that big fighting happened, was itself a fabrication, a distraction.
And they also point to another prop, this vintage board game, What's the E? It seems like a random detail, but theorists connect it to themes of deception and hidden realities. These clues are just so powerful because they feel like intentional little winks from the creators.
But the most time-sensitive piece of evidence, the real linchpin, is the mysterious website that ties directly to tonight.
November61987.com.
Exactly.
I mean, that URL is a neat trick all by itself.
Yeah.
November 6, 1983, that's when Will Byers vanished. The start of everything. And the 87 just confirms the time jump for the final season. So what's on the site?
It's just a live countdown timer. And it doesn't look like some fan-made joke. It's professional. It's been highly publicized. And crucially, that countdown stops at exactly 8:30 p.m. tonight, Wednesday, January 7th.
And the date selection isn't random either, is it? The fan logic here is built on a really precise calendar pattern they found in the Season 5 release schedule.
That's right. If you look at the major episode drops for Season 5, fans noticed they were consistent with major holidays. Thanksgiving Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve.
So January 7th slot perfectly into that pattern as
Orthodox Christmas Day. It fits the thematic structure perfectly, using major holiday release slots for key story moments.
And on top of that, people are pointing out that Netflix has done huge surprise drops before, right? Like with Cloverfield Paradox.
And the main cast has gone totally silent on social media for weeks. People are interpreting that not as vacation, but as a studio-enforced NDA blackout to protect the biggest secret in TV history.
So look, if we only look at that evidence, the hands, the D&D books, the countdown, the holiday pattern, it weaves this deeply satisfying meta-story. It makes perfect sense inside the story's own logic.
It does.
But we have to pivot now. We have to look at the practical side, because this is where the theory just hits a concrete wall. Let's get into the reality check.
Yes, and this is the crucial counterargument. The enthusiasm for the clues, it has to be tempered by the cold, hard facts of how a, what, $30 million per episode global franchise actually operates.
Let's start with the one non-negotiable fact.
The fifth season is confirmed as the final season. There is no season 6. So the showrunners would be risking this, an unprecedented violation of audience trust to pull the rug out from under everyone.
And just the sheer logistical impossibility of keeping a secret this huge, that's probably the single biggest argument against Conformity Gate.
Absolutely. Think about it. We're talking about a secret episode that would have to have been fully filmed, fully edited, scored, everything, right alongside the original finale. To film a high-stakes, 90-minute secret final episode, that means booking actors for extra time, crew payroll for months of extra post-production, and most importantly, managing the VFX timeline.
And Stranger Things is a visual effects powerhouse. We're talking months and months of sensitive, high-level computer graphics work done by different studios all over the world.
So how do you pay dozens of specialized VFX artists to render a massive upside-down battle sequence without them realizing it's a secret finale? The paperwork trail alone would be astronomical.
It's impossible.
It's basically impossible. Every single person from an assistant editor to a dubbing specialist would have signed NDAs. But NDAs fail when you have that many people involved. We're talking hundreds of crew members, catering, location scouts.
And the people responsible for international localization? That's a great point.
Exactly.
You don't just film a secret episode and hide it. You have to get it dubbed into dozens of languages so it can drop globally at 8:30 tonight.
Which means hiring hundreds of voice actors in different countries, each signing their own contract, each of them aware of the full plot. Keeping a secret of that magnitude in the age of social media isn't just hard. It's functionally impossible.
It'd be easier to film a moon landing in a studio.
Honestly, it probably would.
Which brings us to the professional risk for the creators, for the Duffer Brothers. They have this massive, successful future ahead of them, and it's largely because of the goodwill and the trust they've built up.
And that goodwill is so fragile. Imagine the reaction from every major media outlet. The Hollywood Reporter, the New York Times. What happens if they feel like they were intentionally misled about the end of the show?
They'd feel played.
Completely played.
Yeah.
That's a huge professional consequence. It's a breach of faith with the entire infrastructure of entertainment journalism. You could be burning bridges that your future projects absolutely depend on.
And what about the audience's emotional investment? A lot of the strength of the finale that we did see was that it satisfied so many fans who had 5 seasons of their lives invested in these characters.
Exactly. To just tear that earned resolution away, to tell millions of dedicated viewers everything you felt was a lie. Maybe a few TV geeks would think that's clever, but it would feel like a profound disservice to the mass audience.
They came for the heart, not just the head games.
Right. The risk of alienating your most devoted fans for one massive twist.
Yeah.
It just heavily weighs against the theory.
So while the fan evidence is compelling, the hands, the dates, all of it, the logistical hurdles of filming, VFX, localization, and the enormous reputation risk for the creators and for Netflix, it creates a nearly insurmountable barrier. The truth is, the most logical answer is usually the least fun one.
And that tension, that desperate search for resolution, is what's really fueling Conformity Gate. Fans see loose threads, and they desperately need them tied up, so they resort to a conspiracy theory about a secret episode.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it actually explains why the creators left things a little open-ended. They didn't just wrap the story, they were setting up a future.
That is the key context. Even if Episode 9 isn't dropping tonight, the universe of Stranger Things is definitely continuing. The sources confirm 2 spin-offs are in active development, and these projects are designed to resolve the very issues fans are focusing on.
Okay, so let's look at the confirmed projects, because this shifts the focus entirely from the past to the future.
So the first one is an animated series, Stranger Things, Tales of 85. That one is set to bridge the gap between seasons 2 and 3. Interesting, but not really relevant to our mystery.
Right, but it's the second spin-off that basically undermines the entire need for a secret episode 9.
Absolutely. The second project is described as much more mysterious, and, this is crucial, it will feature no common characters from the main cast. The sources highlight that this is where the creators will delve into the specific, unresolved parts of the finale.
And they named a specific unresolved element, didn't they? One that fuels all these theories.
They did. This spin-off is going to specifically address the rock found in Henry Creel's briefcase. That was a major, mysterious clue from Season 5 that never got a clear explanation.
That is massive. So what fans think is unresolved, the idea of Vecna winning, the nature of his true power. That will actually be explored, just not tonight in a hidden episode. It'll be in an authorized news story that deals with the origins of the mythology.
And this is confirmed directly by Matt Duffer. He said, and I'm quoting here, it's a completely different mythology. So it's not a deep exploration of the mind flayer or anything like that. It's very fresh and very new, but yes, it will answer some of the loose threads that are remaining.
So all the energy fans are pouring into hunting for a secret ending? It's actually leading them away from the new, fresh, authorized mysteries that the creators intentionally left for the future.
It completely changes the focus from looking for a hidden truth in the past to anticipating an entirely new canonical explanation that's coming soon.
That's a really powerful way to put it. And before we wrap this up, if all this talk about character alignment and psychic control has you wondering where you might fit into the Stranger Things universe, there's kind of a neat way to engage with the psychology of it all.
There is, yeah. You can find an open source psychological quiz online. It uses a statistical personality data set, and it includes 15 of the key characters from the show.
And it includes the essential players for this theory, which is perfect. You can see if your own personality would make you a Conformity Gate believer. It has Eleven, Dustin, Joyce, Jim Hopper, and yes, Vecna or Henry Creel is in the data set. It's a fun little analytical exercise.
It's a good reminder that at the heart of all this is just a deep engagement with who these characters are and what they represent to people.
Okay, so let's bring it all back home for you. Tonight is the moment of truth. We've walked you through the most powerful evidence the Conformity Gate theorists have. The mirrored hands, the compelling countdown at November61187.com, the perfect fit with Orthodox Christmas Day.
But we have also weighed that against the, frankly, overwhelming pragmatic evidence against it. The near-impossible logistical nightmare, the massive financial and professional risk, and the simple reality that Season 5 is, irrevocably, the final season of the main story.
Ultimately, this intense desire for a secret episode, it really just highlights the powerful relationship an audience develops with a fictional world. When a show you love ends, that emotional investment doesn't just disappear.
No, it doesn't.
Fans search for meaning, they look for ways to keep the narrative going, and they look for proof that the darkness they loved watching hasn't truly been defeated.
And that dynamic leads us to our final provocative thought for you to mull over tonight, no matter what happens when that clock hits 0.
Given that the creators have confirmed the new spin-off will deal specifically with Henry Creel's briefcase rock and will introduce a completely different mythology, does the obsessive drive for a hidden Vecna wins episode actually distract all of us from the much fresher, newer, and more exciting questions the creators intentionally left open for the future of this universe?
It seems like the real, authorized, and challenging mystery might be the one that's about to start with the spin-off, not the one that might end tonight. We'll see what 8:30 reveals.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We'll talk to you next time.